Hi, I'm John Dobson and I'm about to play On-Off Boogie from ABRSM Jazz Piano Pieces, Grade 2. Afterwards there'll be a tutorial, mostly on the impro, but I'm going to talk about how Tim Richards wrote it as well. So that piece originally comes from this book, Improvising Blues Piano, Tim Richards, also by the same author. I'm not plugging this because I'm getting paid by anyone. I'm not. I don't work for Shop. I don't know Tim Richards, but I think he's a great, great pedagogue of jazz piano. He also wrote this book. I use this a lot for my teaching. I think it's a brilliant book. And for the more advanced students, second one, which is actually even better. On-Off Boogie is a simple 12 bar in the key of F. I will go through the actual sequence in a minute, but let's just talk about the riff itself. We have a power chord of F, that's your little thing on the F. Your thumb 5 notes high, naturally fall into a power chord like that. Play it twice. And then you go from the flat third, because the third is A, take it down semitone, that's called the flat 3, to the 3. Play it twice, and then flat 3 to 3. You've got to do the same thing on B flat, and also on C. Okay, now the riff itself is in 8th notes or quavers, and one bar will sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we do that 4 times. We do it on F 4 times because that's what a simple 12 bar would be. And then, like most simple 12 bars, when you get to bar 5, you will go on to B flat and do it for 2 bars. So that's one bar. Do another bar like that, go back to F. We've already done it on F for 2 more bars. Now, when we move on to C, the version for grade 2, he does 1 bar on C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Stop, rest for 3 beats, go back to F. 3 and 4, and then the last bar, 1, and stretch down an octave, and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if your hands are too small to stretch down an octave, you could just go and go right hand over left, play those C's. And the advantage of doing that is it looks pretty flash as well. So that's the main riff. So what's happening in the right hand? Well, for the right hand we have a sequence of chords followed by the right hand riff, and then there's a sort of lick at the end, which I'll do in a minute. But first of all, let's talk about the chords. We have an F chord. Root position F chord? No. What we have to do is put the F on the top and have the A and the C underneath it. I'll show you that again. There's a root position F. If I put the F on the top, I get what we call first inversion. So he's going to play that chord at the start of the bar on the first beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you may want to line it up with the left hand slowly. Together, left, left, together. Hold it down for playing the repeat of the riff. So that's the chord. You do the same thing with B flat, but the B flat is in root position. So on the beat, 1 and 2 and off the beat. So 1 is on the beat, 1 and 2 and the out of 2, of course, is an off beat, hence on, off, boogie. He does the same thing later on C, so again in root position. And that's the chord part of the right hand. So we have a lick based on a very, very common thing in jazz piano where you play thirds, go into the root, and then you play thirds again based on the 2nd and 4th degrees of the scale, go into the root. 3-5 to the root, 4-2 to the root. However, at the end, we're leaving it as a third. So you go 3-5 to the root, 4-2 to the root, and then the third there. So it's F and A together. It does exactly the same thing on B flat. But the one on B flat is going to take a bit more practice because you've got the E flat in there. So it's a little bit more awkward. So get into the keys, move your hand into the keys. That's the secret to doing that. Now there's also a lick which is based around an F chord. Now you have this flat 3 again and the F chord broken up. And then we've got a thing called an entrapment. So you've got black keys either side of that A. And then you jump up to the F. You could probably put that into the impro actually if you wanted to. Now for the impro. At the basic level and for the first 6 bars of the impro, I used the note pulls that they gave you for the grade 2 book. Now, in all the jazz piano books, associated by ones, you have note pulls in the solo sections. You do not have to use the notes in the note pulls. You can use any notes you like as long as they sound okay. So it's not the case that you can only use the notes in the note pull. That's very important to realise. However, for the first part of this, I am going to use just the notes in the note pulls. Now we have a choice of 3 thirds, if you like. There's a root and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 5. Now I'm going to call this one 1, this one 2, and this one 3. Later on, you have the option of doing it in B flat and also in C. So I recommend, if you're new to this kind of thing, that you practice a bit of rhythmic placement first. So just take the first note pull and try placing it on various points in a bar. Let's go for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Get the idea. Now try experimenting with that and try doing it in virtually every part of the bar, and it will help your coordination skills and playing both hands together. So what we need to do now is to try and put in an extra pull. So let's go from 1 to 3 via 2. I went back again. Now what you'll find is that 2 on its own sounds pretty bad. So it always needs to pass from either to 1 or to 3. That's quite important to realise. So don't leave the bar on 2. Just use 2 sparingly. So again, just experiment. Try and do that in various points in the bar. Make it slightly more sophisticated each time so you come up with something that you're happy with. So another idea I did later on is I used more thirds. So I'm going up the scale a bit further. So it's very sort of cantaloupe island like. That kind of thing. That's more advanced. So if you wanted to get a distinction or you're just playing this for fun as a more advanced pianist, then I recommend you do that. And the other thing I did was I inverted those thirds and turned them into sixths. So it's a bit sort of Linus and Lucy like, if you like. That kind of thing. And finally, a blues scale on F. Now, you don't have to do blues scales on F till grade 3, but you might already know them anyway. So I just went down. Using a blues scale on F. So there's basically my ideas for the impro. So, associated boards, jazz piano, what they want you to do on the repeat of the head is to embellish it. Now, the version you've just heard me play, you'll notice that I prolong the chords over 2 bars and then did the riff. So have a good listen to it. Very important to try and copy ideas from other people, listening to them, to try and do a transcription that way. So I'm not going to show you exactly what I did. I want you to go listen to it and see what I did. So that was my idea for an embellishment. Okay, now the very end, I've not mentioned this, in a nice little ending, we're just going down in thirds. And if you play F and E flat on that last third, you get a nice F7 chord to finish with. So if you enjoyed that video and it's been any use to you, then please subscribe to my channel. There's going to be much more of these coming up right up to grade 5. Thank you.